How's it going, guys? It's Rafi from Beyond the Huddle, and welcome to this week's Bitcoin forecast. As always, I'm going to walk you guys through our SMI indicator. That's to see what the sentiment of the spot market is. Then we'll go ahead and move on to the asset managers, the COT positions, the CME leverage contracts, and finally we'll wrap it up with some volume and price action using our BTH volume profiles to see what the potential levels of support or resistance are as we approach, some very key levels here in this market. So with that being said, let's get started, guys. Okay, so starting here with the SMI, we're going to make our way to the Beyond the Huddle Discord. And by the way, guys, if you want to join that to take part of the community right here, the free side, of course, is also the premium, but you guys can join for free, and then we can talk about charts. We can talk about any questions you may have on the COT, the SMI, or anything else that you might want to know about. So yeah, hope to see you guys there. The description will be in the link below, in the description below. So to get started, I want to talk about the long-term sentiment, and the idea here was, last time we spoke, it was that we had seen some sell-off here. Obviously, you can see that the long-term players here and the sentiment, and by the way, this is market exchange data that we take and then we analyze. So you can see right here, we definitely saw there was going to potentially be a lot of distribution in the market, and then when it was confirmed by price by hitting the important quarterly level, as you can see, we fell off. Now as we drop, the important part here is that in order for you to buy, you wanted to see the market start to strengthen, right? You need to see buyers stepping in and starting to accumulate prices, and we didn't see that. What we look for is the strong accumulation right here, right? You can see we had it there, nice little rally, and we had one bar here that led to this big, huge rally right here. So then that's exactly what you want to see, right? And look what happened. We had one bar at the exact low. So this move right here was about a something percent move, and that led to quite the aggressive amount of buying from the long-term players in this market. And then look at that right here, a nice beautiful rally. Now the part that I am I don't want to say concerned, but right now we're starting to see some distribution here, and that's not what you want to see. Look what happened last time right here when we started to go from our strong, it was one bar of strong accumulation, then this one right here jumped straight into neutral and then into distribution here. So right now, like I said last time when we were at around $45,000, is the time for you guys to be paying attention to any of your resistance levels. However it is that you guys do that with indicators, with price, with volume, I don't know. It's definitely the time to be looking for those type of signals, because if they get respected, the market is going to dump, as there's a lot more distributing going on than there is buying. Okay, so now when we take a look at the short-term players, again, same idea, using exchange market data here that we compile, we can see that again, and you also, by the way, want to see when they agree with each other or when they don't agree with each other. That definitely means something. Here at the low, they both agreed. They were both strong accumulating, so you have both the short-term and the long-term players in the same page. And then as it rallied, then you went neutral, you went a little bit of accumulation during this consolidation. And what did that lead to? Well, this price leg right here. And then now we're starting to see some very strong distribution here. So you can see quite the large levels, and comparable to the last time we had this type of levels, you can see right here that was at this high. Okay, so much different than the distribution that we're seeing here in the long-term players, which is just barely. Okay, but because they are both distributing, that's an even bigger reason why we should be paying attention to the resistance levels that we're about to hit, which I will go over later in this video in the price action and volume part. So if you want to just skip to that, if you don't want to hear about the COT, feel free to do so. The timestamps are in the description below. So with that being said, guys, there you have it. That's what I have in mind based on the spot market market exchange data. Is telling us that both long-term and short-term players are in distribution mode, unlike what happened at this low here, where there were very strong accumulators. So with that being said, let's move on to the COT, and then we'll move on to price after that. Okay, guys, moving on now to the CME contract for Bitcoin, and we're taking a look here at the asset managers longs and shorts. We can see that the asset managers longs declined by 163 contracts to a total of 5,862, and their shorts actually increased just a tiny bit, 22 contracts to a total of 843. Now, as always, we're going to check what that did to the ratio, and it actually dropped it quite a bit. It went from Quite a bit is relative. 2% drop is really not that big. Let me double check that. It actually might have only been 1%. So if you click on this right here, you can actually go back a week and then, or as far as you want, and we can go see what it used to be. So right now it's 47 or 87 point something. Look at that. So it actually dropped like point something. So less than 1%. Let's see what the percentage exactly was. There it is. Okay, so it dropped definitely less than 1%, right? So not that big of a difference right now. Had it dropped, 3 or 4%, then you want to be like, okay, what caused this drop? Was it the decrease in longs? Was it an increase in shorts, or whatever the case may be? So to get a better look at that, you obviously want to go to the COT indicator. And when you look at the percentage one, you can see we've just been chilling right here above the 80% line, exactly what we want to see. We during the drop wanted to see above the 80% line, and during the rally we still want to see above the 80% line, like what happened right here in October. And as I've been hammering to you guys for the past couple of weeks, ever since we went below the average here, was that two things could have happened. We were either going to continue to drop like what we did here in September, and that just would have been a nice, easy parabolic rally in price. Or the second thing that could have happened is kind of what happened here in May after this big drop, right? So we had a 50% drop here. After this drop here in May, then the short kind of retraced a little bit, and then it consolidated right around the average before the market got a handle of itself, and then they went higher. Okay, so you can see right here that it has happened, right? We've had the pullback in the shorts. That means that the asset managers they've increased their shorts, but it hasn't really gone anywhere aggressively. Now, I will say this is not what I wanted to see, right? I wanted to see the price, I wanted to see the shorts go down aggressively, but they have actually, pulled back. So that's a little bit concerning, but I'm not really that afraid unless they continuously keep adding on those shorts, okay? But it definitely means we have to be on, on our toes, and making sure that if the USDT bias level or if any of our important levels stay bearish, you cannot be in this market, right? You already saw what happened here when this turned bearish at around late October, early November, and then price confirmed it. I mean, it's been disgusting ever since. So again, we don't want to play around with that. So let's take a look at the longs and see what that did. So you can see right here again, even though they keep declining these longs, and you can see, I mean, it was a big massive rally, they're still above its average, and that's exactly what you want to see. You want the longs to stay above the average even though they're lessening them, and that means that the net position will also be above its own average as well. So that's what I have for the COT. Again, I'm still long-term bullish, nothing's changed here, but we do have to pay very close attention to those shorts, that they actually start to get declined as this weekly candle starts to expand higher, because then that means that the market will stop consolidating. So with that being said, let's move on to the price action part of the video. Okay, guys, so coming to the part that you guys are all probably very interested in, now that we have the sentiment idea from the spot market and the leverage market, now we can go ahead and see what the levels are telling us and keeping those ideas in mind, right? So again, the shorts are above the average on the COT, and right now, at the moment at least, the sentiment for the SMI is telling us, that's the market exchange data, is telling us that their strong distribution. Okay, so now let's go to our 4-hour chart and see how these levels are developing. Well, the first thing we got to talk about is something that happened, and we're very happy about it, is that we're finally back above our purple zone. You can see right here, and that purple zone is our USDT bias level, and what that does is that it controls what the price will be for the month of March. Okay, so as long as we're above it, we want to be bullish. Now, I want to clarify this. It just tells you exactly what it says. It's just the bias of the market, right? And it controls all the USDT prices. It has nothing to do with how far the market will go. We leave that for the BTH volume profile, right? And then we use our valuers to see, okay, it might stop here if we're below it, or it might keep going down further and further and further. And obviously we use other tools in the premium group to tell you guys and to analyze it. But very important to keep that in mind. Okay, so the idea is that right here on there's like the green one, but they happen to be the same level for now, right? The weekly one matches the monthly, and the idea is that to start off the week right here, we were below it. And then we hit it and we tried using it, we tried going above it, but we ended up using what? This green dotted line is the weekly value area low, okay? Now, remember, the idea is that as long as you're below the value area lows, you don't want to touch that market and you should be bearish, okay? So that's what's telling us that Bitcoin was going to be bearish. Now, obviously, we already talked about it based on, the SMI right here. While we were below this right here, we had a nice, strong, and this was the candle I was talking to you guys about that fell 6%, and that gave us a really nice strong accumulation in the SMI, and then that allowed prices to go back up. Now, as prices were making their way back up, that's when I was making the video for the paid group on XMR and Zcash. The idea past that was that if your altcoin rallied, which it did, they had astronomical days. I think they both had 30% days. And Bitcoin wasn't able to go above the USDT bias as well for that week, then you knew that you had to sell your altcoin because it was just a fake pump. Well, guess what? Bitcoin did very shortly after that. It consolidated on the level and then boom, went right back above it. So that obviously turns us weekly bullish for Bitcoin, and that's really great for us because now it tells us that we're going to be not only bullish on the month, but then bullish on the week as well, okay? Another good thing that happened here is that we stopped bear trending on the week. So right off the bat, I can tell you guys that unless we break this zone right here, I'm not willing to be bearish on Bitcoin or any USDT levels, okay, any USDT altcoins. Now remember, the idea is that just because you're above the USDT level on Bitcoin does not mean you should be buying Bitcoin, okay guys? That's what you use the Bitcoin cross for, just to analyze it and see which one you should be buying, and that's what we focus on in a premium group, trying to find coins that will outperform Bitcoin on a quarterly and monthly basis, okay? Which again is why I'm interested in Zcash and why I'm interested in XMR and some other coins that might pop up, using the smart money scanner and stuff like that. But at the moment, the important thing you guys got to remember here for Bitcoin is that we keep bouncing at these levels. And what are these levels at the highs? Well, my blue line is my monthly. So if you can picture your monthly candle, this is basically looking back at February and trying to assess where the important levels were. And it was right here, the value area high. And every time it tries to peek its head, then it hits the value area low of the quarterly, right? And that's where the resistance is. So the big resistance is between $43,000 all the way up to 45.5, somewhere around there, okay? And we've touched the quarterly level. That's the white line here. 1, 2, we just missed it there, actually, right here. And remember, last time we just missed it here, the quarterly was when the SMI had hit the distribution again, right? So you had distribution here, and then we fell down here. We had strong accumulation down here. You guys just saw it in the SMI. And then now during this retracement, we're getting more distribution again. So the idea is using your lower time frames, maybe you use your daily, beyond the huddle volume profile, or maybe use your 3-day, however you guys want to use it. You have to try to understand, is it going to reverse here? Or is it going to go ahead and crush the monthly value area high? Now remember, when you go above the value area high, that's when the market starts to trend. Much the same way that when you go below the value area low, the market starts to bear trend. And that's when you're going to hit the aggressive moves to the downside. And just to prove this to you guys real quickly, I'm going to go here to my, I'm going to hide everything, and we're just going to take a look at the quarterly model. And look at what happened when you went below the quarterly, okay? So this right here was looking at Q4 of last year. And when we broke below that quarterly, you see, used it as support right here. And I thought, I was like, oh, this is, actually, I'm sorry, that was December. So when we were right here, I was trying to decide, is it going to break it or is it going to keep using it as support? Well, the minute it broke it right here, we had to brace ourselves and expect this 30% drop, right? That's what killed all the coins because you bear trended on a quarterly. So again, the idea is, are we going to keep consolidating on this monthly candle for Bitcoin, or are we finally going to break above and start to trend either way? So the way I handle my coins is, we may be consolidating on the monthly candle for Bitcoin, but that's what you want to go ahead and take a look at another altcoin like Zcash, XMR, whatever other coin you might have that is actually bull trending on that monthly candle or that weekly candle, whatever time frame you guys like to trade, right? I'm a swing/position trader, so monthly, quarterly, and yearly candles are things that I care about, and I use my weekly and lower time frame between daily, 3-day, and weekly to get into my trades, okay? So with that being said, guys, again, I've talked a lot, but basically what I'm trying to say here is that Based on the SMI, I need to be very cautious, especially because I am reaching the monthly value area high, which we have not been able to break all of March, okay? Now, March just started 9 days ago, but even last month, we were using this entire area as resistance, right? So in the month of February, we used the month of January's value area high as resistance and the quarterly value area low, okay? So definitely a lot of resistance there that we have to break, and honestly I don't know if we're going to break it or not, but I am going to stay bullish as long as we stay above this level right here, and as long as we stay above our weekly value area. So that's all I have for you guys today. Again, potential short-term retracement right here, about 6 to 7%, and then at this level we'll have to reassess the market to see what's going to happen. Could it go here, go up one more time, and then we'll have to reassess again? Sure. So join us on our Discord, and then we can talk about this type of stuff, and we can keep you guys updated as everything's developing and as we move forward. So with that being said, guys, I hope you found some value. If you did, make sure to thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, join our Discord community, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.